I'm the bad guy.
Duh.
Hello, everybody, and I am back here in the fandom zone. It is the most earth-breaking, ground-shaking, but never media shill money-taking, the man, the myth, the legend, the most electrifying villain in YouTube entertainment today, Mr. General Zod. And today is a glorious day for Zod. Your favorite Earth property has returned. The Clone Wars Season 7, Episode 1. So I had a plan of making this shilltastic, talking about how this is the greatest thing since sliced bread, all of that good jazz, but there are some counterpoints I want to make to this, and how much I want to highlight how I hate the Disney Plus streaming model of one episode at a time. This show is literally 14 minutes long of episodes. You should not release one episode at a time for a show that is such a short format. That is my first problem with this show. Okay? They should have released it at once, or if you wanted to break it up, release 5 episodes, wait a bit, release the next 5 episodes, however you want to do it. But I felt like this is a really short show with a condensed run, so in all actuality, they should be releasing these shows a bit closer together, more at once, because you can't get a good idea of how the story flows without a couple of episodes. But let me start with this episode, and it is entitled Bad Batch. This episode is intriguing because my problem with the setup for this, I like how they do a callback to one of the clones, Echo. They think he might be alive because they attacked this clone facility and they employ some tactics that they used to use back in the day. And my favorite clone trooper, Rex, or Captain Rex, one of probably the best clone troopers in the show. Fight me for it. I don't care. He is just fabulous, fantastic character. Lots of growth within the Clone Wars, him and Fives. But there's an arc where in one of the previous seasons, I want to say it was season 3 or 4, Echo had died heroically protecting Anakin Skywalker and the rest of the clone troopers in this escape attempt. Also, Obi-Wan was there. He drew the fire of a turret so that they can get away, and then he was standing by a ship. The ship blew up. The camera was cut. You assumed he was killed in that moment. However, this starts off with them having a distress call. They follow these troopers. They meet up with this band of different sort of clones, almost like a special forces clone kind of unit. They're really great. There's Sniper, there's the tech guy, there's the leader. I mean, he's got this awesome blade that like flicks out. I was digging all the stuff with the clones. I've always liked the clone part of the Clone Wars. So, all of that was good. But now, here's the thing that's odd about this series. The 6th season had a break where they dealt with an arc with the programming of Order 66 happening before it was supposed to happen, which I felt like was supposed to be expanded upon, but it never got to. And then there's what they call the Lost episode. Those are Yoda's episodes that don't kind of fit into the overall storyline, because there's also an arc with Mace Windu, and it kind of felt disjointed because the show had gotten canceled and they were trying to get them all out. Now, I would have liked them to pick up the idea of Order 66. Fives became a fugitive. He figured out basically what was going on. It's the reason why he actually makes an appearance along with Rex and some other people in Rebels, because they removed the chip that was supposed to give them the order to execute the Jedi. And I like this as a premise that some of them, because they are dealing with their own identities and their own individuality within this army of clones. It's cool, the concept of one of them discovering this plot and escaping it and then settling down and having a life outside. I liked all of that. My problem with this first episode is it feels disjointed from season 6. I'm hoping they swing back around, and I know that season 5 is supposed to tie in a lot into this, but season 6 feels like an afterthought. And I'm hoping in season 7 they're going to address some of the loose ends of both 6 and 5. They are definitely going to address Ahsoka, but I want to see how they handle the clones and where they go with their story arcs, because it felt kind of disjointed. It was still fun. The animation looks the same. And hey, if you don't like the Clone Wars from the prior seasons, this is a spitting image. I saw nothing different. People were saying, oh, they're going to SJW it. Shut up with the nonsense. This is what I remember. I got that feeling of watching the Clone Wars, and I even watched the prior season going into this season, and it feels like the same Clone Wars. So if you don't like the first one, you're not going to like this one. It's not going to change your outlook on it. You're still going to bitch and moan about how it's not part of the EU, blah, blah, blah. But this episode was pretty solid. It had a lot of solid action, and my complaints are two things. One, they should release more episodes at a time, because a 14-minute episode is just not enough to wait week to week. It's garbage releasing them like that. And two, the storylines don't feel as connected as they started with the last few seasons of the Clone Wars. I can tell they're setting something up, but I would really have liked more connectivity to seasons 5 and 6, or given me some kind of catch-up, because I feel like I've been throwing into it and there's a lot of things missing in between here. Like, why does Rex only have like one other person as his scout? Where's the rest of the crew? Where'd they all go? A lot of this isn't explained. They show him looking at a picture of the old squad, and I'm assuming they're all gone. So when 5 discovered the plot, did they leave? Did the ones loyal to him leave? And that's where we are at Rebels. It's not really explained. And that's my only issue with Filoni's writing, is that he sometimes expects us to find these connections without giving us much of breadcrumbs. There's leaving your audience in the dark and then just not making anything to connect with. And I feel like that's where this falls into that gray area. So other than that, the animation is the same. The story is great. The chemistry between the clones are awesome. There's a lot of action, unlike Picard. But I loved it. I love this episode. I'm going to give this episode a solid 8 out of 10. I think this is a good way to start the series. It starts with a bang. It starts with an intriguing storyline, and I want them to make more of a connectivity. I would have given this a 9 or a 10, but it doesn't address anything for me yet from the other seasons. Now, if I watch this as a whole, I'll give you a series review and let you know. But overall, Zod approves. I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. This is a great start to the show. I'm very invested. I've been invested. If you're a fan of Clone Wars, you're in for a hell of a ride. If you never were, then why the hell are you looking at a review for the Clone Wars? Okay? This isn't made for you. Anyways, if you like the videos, go ahead, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. And if you like this, leave a comment below. Let me know, what do you think of this episode? Did it do it for you? Do you have more questions? Are there things you want to see in the comments below? Let me know. And as always, remember the one rule here in the fandom zone: kneel before your general, Zod.
I'm the bad guy.
Duh.